In part 1 of this two-part topic, we took a look at some of the sightings of UFOs that came from passengers on commercial flights. I said how these sightings were on the rise and that in this part I would have some answers. So let's take a look at a couple more witness reports and then see what the experts have to say about these interactions and what they feel should be done about them. Let's take a look. Welcome to IF, videos on history, mystery and the strange. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you never miss a video again. I will start with a bit of a recap with a report from a confused passenger who awoke on a flight to look out of the window and be shocked to see a strange brightly coloured UFO hovering beneath the aircraft. The flyer was a one Mr. Chang, and he managed to take a video using his phone. His footage shows a glowing line of fire. The clip the man captured was the source of great debate online between those that were sure this was some kind of otherworldly craft and those that said it had a far more grounded explanation. Looking through the aircraft's small window, a thin cigar-shaped object can be seen in the sky as lightning flashes around it. The mystery object seems to shadow the plane as it jets through the sky. The video is cut short. The reason for this is that the battery was said to have died, this occurrence fueling the skeptical, who say this happened as the following seconds would have revealed the clip to be nothing more than a reflection of a laptop screen or even sunlight through a break of the clouds. One comment on the video has pointed out how the lightning appears to be flashing below the glowing line, indicating the so-called UFO is actually part of the aircraft. Some were more convinced that the clip did show an object that is not of this world. Another recent UFO encounter happened recently when witnesses say what they saw may not be a vessel but a living creature. Sky beasts are something I've looked at before and I'll put a link in the top corner. This strange creature or vessel is still a UFO and again was filmed from the window of an airplane. The video was said to have been shot last year and was only posted online in the last few months. In the video, two long dark objects can be seen flying next to the plane. Technically, if these things are living, they are still UFOs. The person who posted the video and the many comments believe that these dark objects are not an alien craft, but a previously undiscovered airborne creature, this bridging the worlds of ufology and cryptozoology. This type of strange aerial monster has been seen before and been given the name Sky Squid. An interesting take on the sighting came from a person in a comment section. They wrote, "Not a plane, not a drone, and yes, it's possible something from another dimension slipped through momentarily. Our reality is just that, ours. There are others, and we really have no idea where or what we're living in. Once we can access and use 100% of our brain, I think many things will be revealed. These modern interactions seem to be a cause of much discussion, but maybe some of the older sightings could provide us with more answers." Going back to 1952 and a Pan American World Airways DC-4 flight. The aircraft was on a routine flight between Miami and New York when the pilot and co-pilot experienced a strange interaction with an object which they could not explain. First Officer William B. Nash and Second Officer William H. Fortenberry witnessed a brilliant orange glow outside of the airplane. As they looked closer, they could see that this was a line of 6 orbs. Their shape was clearly outlined and evidently circular. The edges were well defined, not phosphorescent or fuzzy in the least, and the red-orange colour was uniform over the upper surface of each craft, said the witnesses. According to the pilots, the objects appeared to be in an echelon line that was tilted slightly to our right, with the leader at the lowest point and the each following craft slightly higher, said the first officer. The lead disc slowed suddenly and 2 discs followed it. They wavered as if they hadn't expected the maneuver. The procession then shot out across the Chesapeake Bay toward the aircraft and performed a new maneuver as Nash and Fortenberry tried to keep eyes on them from the cockpit window. Another incident which occurred in the 50s happened over the US capital of Washington. On July 19, 1952, air traffic controllers at Washington National Airport saw a cluster of strange blips on their radar and contacted nearby commercial aircraft to see if anything unusual had been seen. Casey Pearman was on the Capital Air Flight 807 and radioed to control about bright lights resembling falling stars without tails, moving rapidly up and down and side to side. Captain Howard Dermott on Capital Air Flight 610 also radioed in 2 hours later to report a strange light was following his plane. The US Air Force scrambled F-94 jets from the Delaware Newcastle Air Force Base but encountered nothing unusual. This was not the end of the incident, as a week later the blips appeared again on the radar at Washington National Airport. Again the military launched their jets. The pilots of these flights saw strange lights moving quickly away from their planes as quickly as they were approaching. So what should be done about these mystery objects being in commercial airspace? After all, they do raise concerns over safety. What would happen if there was a collision? UFO researchers have said more should be done to reveal what's going on with these near misses. This after an investigation reported that there have been dozens of close calls between aircraft and mystery aerial objects. Nick Pope, probably the UK's most prominent ufologist, said that the findings produced by the New Quest Data Investigation Unit as fascinating and disturbing, and he said the reports made to the UK Air Prox Board raise important defence, national security and air safety issues. This board aims to maintain and improve the safety of flying and has received 36 reported interactions with unknown flying objects. Nick Pope spent many years investigating UFO sightings for the Ministry of Defence in the 1990s. He said, "It's clear that pilots and air traffic service personnel are witnessing many near misses in UK airspace. The suspension of flying at Gatwick Airport earlier this year leads the media and the public to assume each occurrence involves drones, but applying the UK Air Prox Board's own guidelines, many of the reports being attributed to drones should more properly be characterized as unknown objects. Pilots frequently see things in the skies that they can't identify. The UK Air Prox Board has a significant number of such accounts, and there are numerous reports in the MOD's UFO files. In most cases, sightings turn out to be birds, weather balloons, plastic bags, or bin liners, or even Chinese lanterns. While some are indeed attributable to drones, however, other cases remain unexplained even after thorough investigation, and this is of concern, especially if we're missing a trick by being too quick to blame drones. Pilots tend not to be comfortable reporting a UFO sighting because of the perceived stigma, so it's much easier to talk about unusual aircraft, unconventional helicopters, or drones. However, in April, the US Navy issued guidelines to its pilots advising them what to do if they encounter unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs, this being a term recognized by the military for what the public perceive as UFOs. While the guidance itself remains classified and won't be made public, it's an encouraging sign, and I like to see something similar done in the UK. The situation has been under-resourced since the 2009 termination of the MOD's UFO program, and while I'm aware that the MOD continues to study such matters, being careful to avoid using the term UFO, more should be done. Having investigated UFOs for the MOD back in the 1990s, I can confirm that whatever the true nature of the phenomena is, it raises important defense, national security, and, as we see here, air safety issues. The UK's Civil Aviation Authority claims that in most cases these unknown craft and the reports of near misses were drones, model aircraft, or even balloons. Why don't they go all out and just call it swamp gas? These explanations haven't held water since they were given to us decades ago. Saying they don't know what it is would be more honest and helpful. They may even get a little more funding to find out. It is against the law to fly a drone above 400 feet or near to an airport boundary, and a spokesman for the CAA said if a drone recklessly or negligently endangers an aircraft it is a criminal offence and the operator could face up to 5 years in prison. Recently there have been several arrests of people flying drones in restricted airspace, but a quick search of sightings at airports often includes a flying object which displays capabilities beyond a drone or pretty much any type of human technology. Interestingly, the majority of the most baffling reports reviewed by the UK Airprox Board, which is sponsored and funded by the CAA and the MAA, Military Aviation Authority, involve sightings of unknown objects at thousands of feet off of the ground. In 8 out of the 9 cases, when the board could not determine the nature of the object witnessed, reports detailed sightings at altitudes ranging from nearly 5,000 feet to 16,000 feet. Drone pilot Jason Goodlad, who runs Hawkeye Visions Limited in Stowbridge, West Midlands, said it would be a real struggle to get a drone up to 6,000 to 7,000 feet as the battery would die, and he added, at a really high altitude it's doubtful it would be a drone. Where did these craft come from and what do they want from us? Maybe by using the hazard they threaten, we could find a new angle to researching the phenomena of unidentified flying objects. Have you ever had a sighting of a UFO from a plane or at an airport? And what do you think of this new 2-part format? Let me know in the comments below. As always, if you like what I do here on the channel, hit that red button, like and share. And don't forget, for the next few days, it's free to join the channel membership program. You can find me across social media by searching We Are If. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.